Look, I'll no thank you for showing basic decency, but you saved my life. That counts for something. To me, anyway. Try to survive. Same thing I do every day. There are always crews looking for hands. I'll find more work somewhere. Try not to get killed. Nah, I'm kidding. Just don't go around acting like you own the place, alright? Not all of them, but it's not a great way to make friends. Give Paradisans a chance. That's why they came here in the first place. Hope we don't run into each other. Still, take care of yourself.
Suppose this is where I leave you then. I owe you my life, envoy. I won't soon forget what you did. Not what you signed up for either. The things we saw in there. You'll put it right. You have to. You don't have to. Just go up the pier. I imagine they've sent someone official-like to take you there.
Must be nice, eh?
I hope the folks at the embassy know where to find a good, strong drink. Well, it's the Living Land's biggest port. People come from all over. Not all of them are Adir's friends.
Wonder why?
You'll be fine. After the fort, I figure you can survive anything. Same to you. You'll make the Emperor proud, I'm sure of it.
These docks are reserved for the Imperial Envoy of Adir.
Here I thought we were getting along. You know.
Hey! Turn around and sail back to wherever you came from. This dock is reserved for the Imperial Envoy. And he's late. Huh. Probably died at sea. Good riddance. Wait, you're the... Fuck.
Nice.
Forgive me, Envoy. I meant nothing by it. A slip of the tongue. Can we start over? Name's Cynric, captain of the local militia. We're a scrappy bunch, but we know our way around Paradise. Unlike most Adirans who couldn't find their ass with both their hands. Oh, present company excluded. They told me you were godlike, but I didn't know what to expect. Your face, it's so... Ooh, on second thought, why don't I just shut up before I say anything else I regret?
Now there's a good idea.
No doubt you've come for the Adiran ambassador, but he's gone, along with our claviger. Well, he's the closest thing we have to a local authority. Part keeper of the keys, part bald fist.
Paradise's mayor, more or less. Most people out here aren't fond of established hierarchies and titles. So, we made up some new ones.
No, there's some kind of blight in the wilderness and rumors of plague. They went to investigate. Nature has a mind of its own in these parts. When the ecosystem changes, we ask ourselves how and why.
Leaderless and rudderless is the natural state of things in Paradise anyway. Keeps things interesting.
I'm sorry, Envoy, but no one's here to receive it.
Nonsense. There's a small army of pickpockets, smugglers, and scoundrels between those walls who'd be happy to take it off your hands.
Just ignore him.
Where did you say they went? Because I've got an idea.
They traveled northwest to the Strangle Route, past the old Pargroon Wall.
You need to find the ambassador, and I need to find the claviger. How's about we partner up? Name's Kai. I've been a soldier, a sailor, and a halfway decent baritone.
He's a troublemaker, but a damn qualified one at least.
I knew you had a soft spot for me. Claviger Amond helped me get on my feet when I came to Paradise a few years ago. Last time we spoke, he sounded worried about things. If he's gotten himself into trouble, I owe it to him to help out. If there's one thing you can say about Rowatayans, we're no backstabbers. We handle our disagreements face to face, with lots of yelling and violence. You'll vouch for me, right, Captain?
Better to have him and not need him, I guess.
That's the nicest thing you've said about me all day.
Kai, before you go, remember, you're taking a distinguished veteran into the wilderness. Make sure he comes back alive, or the steel garrote will have my head.
Better yours than mine.
The steel garrote are here as guests, helping Adirans like yourself keep the peace. Or so they say. You tell me, Envoy. The Adirans came to our shores with their soldiers, their bureaucrats, and their cult of murderers. Asking a lot of nosy questions is a good way to end up with a knife in your back. They're an order of religious cutthroats, sharpening their blades for the glory of the burned queen. Oof, creepy bunch, too. Who needs enemies when you have friends like the Steel Garrote? Speaking of the Steel Garrote, fair warning, their leader, Inquisitor Ludwine, is eager to greet you. Or possibly interrogate you. Wait. You know the Inquisitor? Dare I ask how? Oof, just the thought of seeing her in battle sends a chill down my spine. I heard she's a monster, the personal handmaiden of the burned queen. But that's not all. They say she fell in battle in the dead fire, and death spat her back out. To catch up on old times, I suppose?
We'll have time to worry about Ludwine later. Right behind you. We've got to find your ambassador and my claviger before something else does. I'll bet you're glad to be on dry land after that voyage. Come on, let's get you some fresh air. Grunin left these beacons all over the island. They're good for finding your way around.
The city's getting crowded.
Please, how hard is it to answer a question?
I don't trifle with souls, man.
They're tearing my home apart. Never mind. I can't believe how rude everyone is around here. How hard could it be to find a watcher? I have a little money, if that's what you mean. I assumed I'd have to pay the watcher, though. I have a strange problem, you see. Something more like. A band of Zorips invaded my house. What am I gonna do? Then take my house key. It's northwest of here. That cabin on the cliff all by itself. Gods know I can't go back. And there's nothing to steal either. The Zorips saw to that. Come back when you've dealt with them. And make sure you get their leader, too. I'm sorry, but I don't think they'll go quietly. You'll have to kill them. Thank you. That may not be worth much coming from a stranger, but I mean it.
I already told her I don't want to be involved.
You say the militia have closed Paradies to newcomers, so where should I go?
Leaves, his letters won't turn up. Que larde! I'd heard a godlike had come to Paradise.
Oh, hey, Sansa. Comes on a little strong, that's all. He doesn't bite.
But to meet you, what an honor. Who is your patron? Were you drawn to this place? I apologize. My curiosity got the better of me. Listen, you haven't been to the wilds east of the city, have you? Maybe that's for the best. Then have you seen a cartographer in the area? A human, about my height. He must have gone farther than I thought. His name is Girmund. He's my assistant, and I'm worried about him. I sent him to map the eastern wilds. I knew it would be perilous, but it's been a long time since he's written, even for him. Cartography is not for the slight. It requires a certain initiative.
You know how many so-called adventurers I've saved out there?
It's an intrepid occupation.
3, this month.
As I said, if you find him and bring me his map, I'll be glad to pay you for it. I may even have more work for you. Thank the gods! At least coin will get me somewhere. When he last wrote, he was mapping the eastern ruins. Take the letter. It might help. If you find him, bring his work to my shop in Paradise Town. You're welcome anytime. I have quite the assortment of curios. Maybe you'll even buy one of my maps.
That's our marching orders, then. You know, for most people, getting sent to the Living Lands is a punishment. But, according to Cynric, you're the personal envoy of the Emperor of Adir himself. Quite a position. Tall grass, huh? Even in Rauatai, you lot are the stuff of legend. I guess I should count myself lucky our paths didn't cross sooner. But that raises a bigger question. Why would your emperor send one of his most accomplished warriors all the way out here? Besides curiosity as to why a foreign war hero was sent to the frontier, I was in rough shape when I came to Paradise a few years back. Claviger Amond helped me get settled here. If he's gotten into trouble, the least I can do is help him out of it, especially if he's following up on rumors of the Dream Scourge. Not much. It's hard to separate fact from rumor. I've heard it changes people, makes them confused, disoriented, and eventually violent. No one seems to know exactly how it starts. I like your confidence, just be careful how you express it. Unfortunately, the presence of so many Adiran troops and the rumored exploits of the Stilgarrote paladins supporting them is only making a tense situation worse. I think that's why the Clavinger accompanied your ambassador. Don't get me wrong, we have had a welcome reprieve from the usual muggings and murders since your country folk started arriving en masse. But I don't know how long that'll last. We're talking about an island that has been largely settled by nomads, exiles, and dissidents. People who tend to be suspicious of authority. But what about you? What's your stake in things? Besides your orders, of course. Someone once told me you need more than a little crazy to last out here. I get the feeling you'll fit right in. I'll let you get some rest, but thanks for talking. It's good to be part of a squad again, even if it's just for a while. They say people afflicted with it have strange, vivid dreams and start confusing them with reality. What starts as a light daze becomes severe disorientation and eventually a bent towards chaotic violence. And then, fungal growths take over your body. So Dream Scourge. I guess it sounded better than miasmal canker. It's the gateway to the Living Lands, a scenic port city that's as beautiful and dangerous as the wilds around it. Most visitors enjoy some mariner's porridge at the Baldur, a back alley shakedown, and then the sudden return of that porridge out of one end or the other. Then, if they've got any sins, they turn around and take their chances back where they came from, with authentic tales of their adventures in the Living Lands. Don't get me wrong, it's a great city. In part because it's great at winnowing out people who have no business being here. The Living Lands means a hard-won second chance for the people who settle here. But first, you've got to survive it. And the island gives no quarter. The folks who say that either last the longest or the shortest. For a lot of people, the Living Lands is a last resort. They come fleeing war, debt, famine, the law. Take your pick. For others, it's freedom. To seek glory, to redefine yourself, to live in a way you can't, maybe even on pain of death wherever you come from. Oh, little of everything. Rawatai is famous for storms and rocky soil, so I figured if I'm going to live in a hostile environment, why not pick some place where things grow? It seemed like a good idea at the time. Used to be, if you could last out here, you could count on being left alone. That's what some fear. Ilgard's new embassy and his alliance with the Stilgarrote smell like the authority and order that a lot of people came here to leave behind. But I don't mean to put that on you. I imagine you're tired of having to answer for every Adiran who sneezes into somebody's stew. Should I break out the booze? That must have been 6 years ago now. I guess I was drifting, looking for a change. A settlement called Thirdborn. It's a rugged little place, lots of Rawatayan expatriates. It really was. Anyway, we were talking about something else, yeah? I joined up with the Rawatayan Navy as soon as I was old enough. I was part of our campaign to establish a foothold in the Deadfire Archipelago. Starting out, it was exciting, purposeful. I believed in our mission. We were returning to our ancestral homeland, reclaiming fertile soil that would feed Rawatai. Additionally, we were helping Deadfire, bringing organization to the pirate-ridden archipelago and civilization to our distant Wana cousins. Yeah, the Huana didn't want us there. We spent almost as much time fighting the tribes as we did pirates and Wilder. And it was hard to see how any of our fighting and dying was feeding people back home. I'd always heard that war was supposed to temper us, strengthen us, but I didn't see that either. Some fell apart. Some bought into the cruelty that our continued presence required. Others didn't buy into it, but went along with it anyway. And that bothered me more somehow. I deserted. And I bounced between different mercenary companies for almost 10 years. That's why I never returned home. There were only so many options for a Rawatayan deserter with no training and anything else. As a mercenary, I figured I could at least choose my battles and my crew. Yeah, it just took me a little longer to figure that out. Being part of a squad kept me going. For a while, anyway. By the time I came to the Living Lands, I'd seen enough. Had enough. I did. Yeah. For a while. Look, if I can give you some hard-won advice, stay on your toes. You're in a difficult position. Whatever your role asks of you, make sure it's something you're willing to give. Because you're the one who has to live with the consequences. I figured. What gave it away? My finely pointed teeth? Or the striking blue of my scales? Fair enough. My people are known to roam. Rawatai's hardly a hospitable environment. Many of us end up settling elsewhere or making a living on the go. That's where you get the popular image of the Amawa bodyguard or mercenary. Don't sell me short. I've also been a drifter, a middling carpenter, and a terrible card player. We should play sometime. I'll show you. Then you must have come during our sunny season. Lashed by storms and battered by waves. We call it the rough country. And old trenchers say it's made us who we are. We do a lot of digging for irrigation, drainage, warfare, the occasional village tournament. Anyone from Rawatai has spent enough time in some kind of hole in the ground to be on a first-name basis with the worms. So, trenchers. Those of us who leave are scramble roots, hardy weeds that can survive just about anywhere. You'd fit right in with the Ranganui's inner circle. It's true that the same things that make Rawatai a difficult place to live have shaped our people and our kingdom. Our coral masons have built living harbors and fortifications along the coast to protect our ships and shelter our cities. For all our shortage of fertile soil, Rawatai's land is abundant in saltpeter, copper, iron, most of the other materials you need to outfit your military with weapons and cannons. We value struggling and striving together. It helped us survive and build one of the most powerful navies in Aora. You're not wrong. Though, my countrymen would point out that we had to expand to find fertile land to feed our people. And the scattered kingdoms we've absorbed in the process have joined one of the most advanced nations in the world. And that's an interesting point coming from the Adiran Emperor's representative in the Living Lands. What do you want to know? Good thing you're asking the expert. Get some rest, envoy. After your voyage, it must be nice to spend the night on dry land. Personally, I've always found the rocking of a ship to be soothing. As long as I've got my feet facing the bow, that is. I haven't seen this much excitement in a while. Perhaps I've got you to thank for bringing it with you, envoy. Armor could use some work. Let's check the watermill for supplies. Even Pargrunen. Almost can't stand against this place.
You're mine now!
Careful. Looks like spiders nearby. Right behind you. Spider on my side.
Coming from your right! Okay. Hook up, envoy.
After your voyage, it must be nice to spend the night on dry land. Personally, I've always found the rocking... of a ship to be soothing. As long as I've got my feet facing the bow, that is. Your armor could use some work. Let's check the watermill for supplies.
Look, Paradise. Incoming Zaros. Show me what you got. Let's see what you got. Coming from your right. Good one.
Those Arabs must have been scavenging supplies, too.
Another glorious battle.
I think there's something on the upper floor. We might be able to reach it from outside. This used to be a good fishing spot until something started dragging people away. You take lead.
You're mine now! Come and get me! One for you!
Hope you don't mind spiders. Even Pargrunan walls can't stand against this place. The so-called godless people disappeared centuries ago, but left plenty of ruins to remember by.
Behind you! Oh, no, you don't! Hey! Over here! that all you got? Come and get me!
A rot seeps through here. Who poisons us? We cannot see.
It used to be this overgrown. I can take care of that. I'm always telling visitors we're not as crazy as they've heard.
Coming in hot.
I got a bad feeling about whatever that bear's chomping on.
Let's see what you got. Next one's mine. Aye, aye.
It's almost like the brambles are trying to crush that house.
Here we go. Hey, over here. One for you. Nothing like a win with a good team.
Ready, aim.
Take him coming!
It breathes. It is close.
That's the claviger. What happened?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after. Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after.
This one's mine.
That's the claviger. What happened?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after.
You're mine now. Hey! Over here!
That's the claviger. What happened?
Are you blind? We're being hunted. Get rid of the band. We'll talk after.
Here we go!
monstrosity! Well done!
What happened to that bear?
Good fight.
Poor bastard. One of Ludwine's toy soldiers. I never even learned their name. Not that it would have done us any good. Oh, my savior. Oh, thank the gods. Your arrival couldn't have been more timely. Well, the Clavager and I were investigating a disturbance. But sadly, it got the better of us.
Eamon was no stranger to disturbances, inside or outside the city walls. I never would have expected him to be caught off guard.
Ambassador Falchion Hildgard at your service. And you must be our Imperial envoy. Better late than never, I say. Keep it close until we're back at the embassy. I prefer to take bad news in the comfort of my office. Aren't you going to introduce me to your capable companion? Can he be trusted? Or did he now?
A little faster, and we might have been able to save Clavager Eamon, too. Happy to have been of service, nevertheless.
I'm charmed. I take it you had business with the Clavager? Poor fellow. It was the bear that killed him, of course. This wilderness has been a little too wild of late. I'm no woodsman, but I'm inclined to agree. We heard alarming reports of a blight in the wilderness, and a strange corruption moving toward the city. The changes in the ecosystem are expected, but this one was progressing too rapidly to ignore. We tracked the corruption all the way here, but all we found was that creature gone mad. The situation is more dire than I imagined. We need a plan of action before whatever this is consumes the living lands.
We are here. Come to us. Commune with us. We have waited for you. Come.
What's the matter? Can you hear me? Well, that's encouraging. The Emperor trusts your judgment, and so do I. Whatever you think is best, I'll support it. You know something of our troubles. That much is clear. What would you have us do?
Right behind you.
Oh, just be careful. The Emperor would never forgive me if anything happened to you.
Take it slow. We'll be right here.
It is you. Come closer. We feared you were but a dream. We wake from seasons of slumber. We have been waiting. A colony of insects. The many united by one purpose. Mycelia twining through the loam, taking and giving in equal measure. We are the ache in the land, the roots that run deep. And you are familiar to us. Our memories are fractured, but you too are alone in your strangeness. A rot eats at the foundation of this land. Corruption seeps into the soil. It spreads and festers and seeps and crawls. Poor bear, poor us, poor you. Yes, the air sings with its spores. It is everywhere. We can feel it. We fear it. We can see where it spreads. It is an infection. A foreign body invades. The host fights back. We feel the pain of this intrusion. It overwhelms us. If an animal sickens after a fight, as it howls and sings its agony, what do you do? Sickened to its core, yes. Why do you think we suffer so? The rot festers. We could suck the poison out, let green things grow in its place, and we could give you the gift of our healing touch. But a favor for a favor. Would you help us in return when we ask it? We offer you the power to heal and be healed, and you would wheedle and bargain? Decide, do you wish this power or not? A favor for a favor then. This place shall heal, and you shall know our power. We tire. New again this world, new again words. We will find you soon.
Incredible. Envoy, I don't know what you did, but that was miraculous.
You all right? You look like you were in a trance for several minutes.
What happened? What can you recall? Spare no detail.
I say we begin with a couple pints. This day's been stranger than most. And out here, that's saying something.
Inquisitor Ludwig will need to hear of this. I've agreed to share my findings with the Steel Garrote, as long as they do the same. Not that she has any interest in ecology. Ludwig is obsessed with our security. Sees enemies lurking around every corner. The Steel Garrote provide us some much-needed protection, but they answer only to themselves. We have our interest in the living lands, and they have theirs. A mutually beneficial arrangement. Stay out of their way, and they'll return the favor. Ah, you're going to be troublesome, aren't you? At least you're on our side. We'll talk more at the embassy. I'll ensure the Paradise militia give you free passage into the city. Ah, Envoy, what you've done here is truly amazing. Let's keep up the good work, eh?
Just watch your step. There are swaths of the city barely more civilized than this.
The loss of the claviger will be felt in every corner of Paradise.
Whatever the Inquisitors, she can't be worse than that thing, can she? You are full of surprises, Envoy. I'd heard godlikes have strange powers, but I've never known one to heal an entire grove. Guess your Emperor really did think.
The path to Paradise is a tad overgrown, but I can find my way back.